Don't swear or anything because we're going to be on here live almost.
Yeah, you just tell me when we're live and I'm good. I
Technically,
mean,
we're
you,
live
I mean,
now, but no one knows yet. So, okay.
hello, hello, good morning, Vietnam.
Don't. We're live, dude. Okay. All right. Wow, it's like a couple seconds delay, but it's pretty cool. Okay. I got the chat in here. I need to send you. I need to go on Facebook here, make sure everything's good. Um, Facebook. Clark, you try this link, see what it does for you. See if it takes you to the live connecting streaming to go live. Is it doing anything?
I'll have to log in, but yeah,
To log into what?
uh, my Google.
Oh, you shouldn't have
It's like,
to.
yeah, it literally wants me to log into my Google.
Okay, 1 second here. Um,
Okay, nope, I got it now.
is it actually showing us where we started and stuff and everything? Are we're live?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna put it on Facebook. Um, I'll tag you. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
Before you forget about it, too, change my handle.
okay. What was that?
Hit my knee.
Oh. All right, what is your handle?
Mm, the same words, it's just different numbers. It's 1318.
There we go. All right. Should I put in a ticker, like the bottom thing, or no?
I mean, you can if you want to, just so people know it's there and that they can interact, even though there might not be anybody in here right now.
There won't be any in there. No.
Well, I understand that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll do something really quick. 4-1, right? What was it today's? What was today's score?
42-24.
42-24. Win over Panthers. Oh my gosh, that was so loud in my ear.
I had a water down there and I kicked it.
All right. Cool. Do you see our live thing still? Or you didn't look? I'm just curious if I'll stop streaming and I'll stream it again.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, no, yeah, we're still up there.
we're up there.
Yeah.
All right. Let me share this out on Facebook. All right. All right, Josh. Let's get into it, man. We're live here on YouTube. If we do get anybody on here, obviously, new show, and yes, the name's changing here soon too. But we want to make sure we can get some content out for people. We're going to be doing a couple shows a week, but let's get right into it, man. I mean, that was a big win for the Lions. I expected them to win, but it was the way that I wanted to see them get the win, right? When you win by a couple touchdowns like that, I mean, it's impressive no matter who you're playing. Saw some good things from the offense, especially with St. Brown out. Saw the run game. Once again, David Montgomery looks strong. Reynolds looks strong. That's because that offensive line is one of the best in the NFL, if not the best in the NFL. Josh, what did you see and what did you like from the Lions today?
Oh, yeah, exactly like you said, the run game is crucial in any football league, whether it's the NFL, college, whatever. Run game is very crucial.
Yeah,
David Montgomery has looked like a completely different person since coming over from the Bears. Like you said, helps having that great offensive line. One thing that I did notice though, they're using him in a way that I imagine them using Jameer Gibbs.
yeah,
He's running the ball. He caught 4 or 5 passes today, I believe, for 30 some yards or close to it.
hmm
So it's kind of a head scratcher there that they are kind of using him in the way that Jameer Gibbs should be used,
yeah,
um, especially in the receiving game. Like you said, Reynolds stepped up big. Sam Laporta stepped up big with 2 touchdowns. Khalif Raymond had a couple big catches there for close to 50 yards, I believe, or 35 yards, something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting to see that this team can still be so dominant with them being down. In my opinion, their 2 best dynamic offensive players.
Honestly, man, and that's a great point. And again, we're seeing that this is an organizational just win, in my opinion. Sam Laporta, right? Not a guy that got a ton of love when we drafted him, right? Everybody's like, oh man, they got rid of Hawkinson. And then Hawkinson got paid and he was getting, the number one tight end in the league type of money. And you know what? Listen, Sam Laporta, I know it's early, but like he's made a bigger impact on his team than TJ Hawkinson has. The Vikings look rough. Um, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt right now. I think, yeah, Kirk Cousins is a good veteran quarterback, but Jared Goff has played better than him. He's doing it with less weapons today, in my opinion, because you did not have Jameer Gibbs, as you said, huge weapon, right? You didn't have St. Brown, who is a top 10 receiver, in my opinion. Um, yeah, does he go out and make like 80-yard plays? No, he doesn't, right? He's not like Justin Jefferson, but you want to move the chains. St. Brown's one of the top receivers in the league. So that was exciting. Um, we saw, we saw some defensive plays as well, right? Like obviously, dude, I got to tell you, Hutchinson is such a good player. And it's not just the stats. Everybody's going to be like, where's the sacks? Where are those numbers? But like QB hurries, rushing the quarterback, getting double teamed, getting held on every play. You could see something, right? The guy is a monster, right? And like that's a guy that the Jaguars are really kicking themselves, saying, "Man, why did we not take this dude?" Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Aiden Hutchinson, in my opinion, he's turning out to be better than expected, honestly.
Yeah.
He was great in Michigan. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was kind of slow when he first came out, but he's proven me wrong. I mean, I knew he was going to be good, but I know he was going to be this good early on.
Yeah.
The way that he's going about it, like you said, the sacks aren't really there, but he's putting pressure on the quarterback. I mean, I think he's at least 8 to 10 times a game he's being rewarded with quarterback hurries,
Right.
pressures, things of that nature. Which it's kind of like a hockey assist. You know what I mean?
It really is.
It
Yeah.
might not show up, but it's there. And it's definitely helping that team and other defensive players around him. So yeah, I like what he's doing so far.
Yeah, man, it's exciting. It's good to see. Listen, this is the first time that I really truly believe in this team where it's like, okay, they're 4-1 right now. I remember a few years back where, it was Sean Rogers returning a touchdown and they had to put him on, on a tank, right, to
Oxygen.
oxygen, and then they go out and lose like the final. What was it, final 4 games, 5 games, or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, and yeah, there was a year or two there with Matt Stafford, especially the year they went and they played. 2 years. The one where they lost young in his career to the
Yep.
Saints when the Saints were at the top, right?
Yep.
And then they
And they
went and
lost to the
lost to
Cowboys.
Dallas where they shouldn't have lost, but they did, right? When you look at the record book, it says loss.
Right.
Um, but this is a team that you're like, okay, like they could be built to go pretty far because when it's cold and you're in the playoffs, what do you got to have? A run game, right? You got to have a run game. Playoff football is different. You
Yeah.
don't normally go out there and beat teams by 40 points or 30 points for that matter. Maybe unless you have like a Patrick Mahomes or something, right? Travis
Right.
Kelsey, a Taylor Swift. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Also, really quick, man, just because my ADD is kicking in, so much talk from Jim Nance today about Taylor Swift, and so Kelsey goes down and he said, "Well, he should just shake it off," and I'm like, dude, can we stop? Can we stop with this? I thought the
Yeah.
man tore something in his knee or something, but like, everybody's like, oh, his Achilles, because everybody wants to say Achilles because of Aaron Rodgers, and everybody's a doctor on X or
Right.
Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It feels weird calling it X, so I'm gonna say Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, right? But I thought he was hurt pretty seriously. He wasn't. They get that win. Expected that to happen. Um, Looking at the big dogs in the NFL right now, are the Lions in that top 5 spot in your opinion?
Yes.
Wow, I like
Yeah.
it. I like it.
Um, well, coming into the year, I mean, I've had different conversations with a couple of my different friends, and I
Yeah.
had the Lions. The Lions as the third best team in the NFC preseason, and so far it's holding true. And there's an argument to be had for them to be the second best team behind the Niners right now with how inconsistent the Eagles are being. So yeah, I definitely think they're in that top three. And right now, I would have them two, 3-ish, but yeah, they're definitely behind the Niners. And there's an argument for them to be behind the Eagles still, but there's also an argument for them to be ahead of the Eagles.
Okay. I mean, listen, I like that, but um, also got to say, dude, today was an odd day in the NFL. Like, I mean, so many things I can start with, but I want to get your strangest thing that you saw today. For me, I guess one of the things I'll put out there, storylines, is Jamar Chase is back, right? That's a
Yeah.
big thing. Uh,
Bengals offense as a whole.
they did not look good in the first half. And then
Yeah.
they woke up, and maybe it helps to play Arizona.
Well, I was gonna say they realized they were playing the Cardinals.
Right. Because Josh Dobbs was out playing Joe in the first half. But
Yep.
the thing
Yep.
is with Joe Burrow is if he has time, he's Joe. But if he
Yeah.
has no time, he can't elude the rush. He's
Yep.
can't, right? They can't do anything right now.
Yep.
So it's good to see that. They got Mixon involved a lot, which they needed to do, right? Because that helps the passing game, and that's certainly what happened today. But man, I feel like it was nice to see Cooper Cup back as well,
Yep.
right? Um, what'd you see today? What surprised you? What impressed you today in the league?
What impressed me today the most? The Pittsburgh Steelers, honestly.
Dude, they were dead for 4 quarters almost, and then
Yeah. Yeah. Just all of a sudden, just bam, turned it on, and defense kicked in.
it really did.
Got some turnovers there. My one good buddy's a Ravens fan, so we had a very nice debate about that game.
Pick
But
pick it to Pickens, right?
pick it to Pickens. That's right. You'll hear that for some years to come. So
Yeah,
big on that combo, but that's probably the biggest surprise in my opinion. I expected the Steelers to lose that game. I mean, they don't have a run game. Najee's terrible.
they do not have a
Um,
offensive coordinator because Matt Canada's
Offensive court,
terrible.
he's terrible, right?
He's terrible.
There's been no chemistry on offense there at all. It's been the defense that's been keeping them in games, and that showed
Right.
again with the offense making just enough plays to kind of win that game for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest thing in that game though that I saw that I don't know if a lot of people have seen this, like watching the replays and stuff. TJ Watt punched Zay Flowers.
Did he really? Okay, because I saw T.J. Watt was incredible in that game.
I believe it was towards the end of the game. Lamar threw Zay Flowers the ball, and TJ Watt went to like tackle him, and he went to go punch the ball up, but the ball had already fallen, and he like punched him in like
Oh
the
my
chest.
gosh, that's not a guy you want to get punched by. Speaking
Yeah,
of defensive end making plays, man, Hutchinson another interception. He's
that interception was nice.
that was real nice.
Like fended off the offensive lineman,
Yeah,
stuck his hand out one handed, pulled it in.
yeah.
And, yeah,
He's
it was nice, for his fourth career interception there to kind of put that game away.
like the ball skills that he has as a defensive end. Like
Yep.
he's got it, man. You could tell the
Yeah.
dude's just an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to get into some more NFL stuff, but I do want to touch on one more thing. Dan Campbell going for it on every fourth down. It feels like eventually that's got to come back and haunt you, right? Because yeah, this is the Panthers. It's the Panthers, right? But like if you're playing somebody later in the season, I mean that's gotta hurt you. Got to come back and bite you a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that Seahawks game, for example, we talked about a few weeks ago. He went for it on a couple fourth downs, and
Yep.
I was like, no, that's not it. And
Right.
like you just said, you start playing against some of the bigger boys. You're gonna lose those games. Come playoff time.
Right.
The Niners, the Eagles. Potentially a Super Bowl matchup with the
But Josh, even
Chiefs,
next week,
Bills.
it's a 3-1
Yeah.
Bucks team, man.
Bucks team, yeah, absolutely, and they have a solid defense. Like
They
they
do.
lost Tom Brady, they lost their headline in Tom Brady, but
Right.
they still have a great defense. I mean, probably the best linebacking duo in the NFL, in my opinion, and Devin White and the other one. I'm trying to blank on his name right now.
Well, they got a good defense.
David.
Levante David he's been a good
Yeah.
player for a long time.
Yeah, David.
Let's take a look on the rest of that schedule too. Okay, just speaking of that, because listen, you're 4-1 right now. Obviously, we're leading the North. Bucks next week. That's in Tampa. I mean, that could go either way, really, with that defense. We'll see. I think the Lions will win that game. I expect them to win that game.
I expected dub there as well.
So I'm saying 5-1. A little worried about the game versus the Ravens. I think that could be close, but Lamar is just like he's back and forth. I feel like Lamar plays better when Odell's not out there. I mean, I hate to say that, but like he threw a fade in the end zone to a receiver this is a 6'2", 6'1" receiver. He's not 6'5", man. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I get doing that with your tight end, right? Andrews, big guy. But I don't know, man. I didn't like what I saw from Beckham. He got hurt again all the time. Zay Flowers fell down in the middle of the field. Would have had a big completion as well.
Yeah,
Um,
Rashad Bateman
Rashad
dropped a
Bateman
touchdown.
dropped everything. He
Yeah,
was
he
dropping
dropped a touchdown
everything.
today. Yeah,
So say the Lions win next week and they go 5-1. If the Ravens keep playing like that, they could be at 6-1, and then you're playing the Raiders 7-1. Okay, in my
yeah, yeah.
my opinion,
On my,
at home,
yeah, that Raiders game Monday Night Football. Yeah, another chance to show the world that the Lions are for real. So I expect them to win that game as well.
and
Then
then you
they
go
go
to the
to their bye
Chargers.
week. If
Yeah,
they go to their bye week, week 9, and they're at the Chargers, I think that Chargers can be their second loss of the season.
agreed, because that's kind of a trap game there, because like you look at where the Chargers are 2-2. I expect them to get a couple more wins here, but like that offense is not a joke, man. That is a
Yeah,
tough
yeah,
offense.
yeah.
So
The offense is what scares me, flying across country, so on and so forth.
agreed.
Those are always tough trap games. So I can see that being their second loss there.
Yeah.
And then they come back home for the Bears. On a short week, they turn around and play Thursday, Thanksgiving against Green Bay, which I expect them to win both of those games. So
Yep.
that
I do
puts them
too.
at
I think they could easily win that game, because we've seen everything we need to out of Jordan Love. He's not that great, right? So
yep,
um, I think for the Bears, man, I've seen some good things though the last couple weeks.
yep.
That could continue. That could
Well,
continue. We should beat that team though. But I know that. But like that, I could see the Bears getting better. They could be. Is it weird to say that the Bears could be the second best team in our division? You
no,
believe that?
yeah,
I believe it. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like
I believe it.
I think so, because there's not a lot. There's dude, the Vikings are
You'll
what,
say
1-4 now?
1-4 now. Yep,
We already beat Green Bay. Okay,
yep.
so what's Green Bay?
2-2.
2-2.
They play
Okay,
tomorrow night. Yep.
yeah, they play tomorrow night. They'll win that game. The Raiders are bad. John McDaniels, he's gonna get fired. I just
Yeah,
don't see that working out. Um, but okay, but like I said, their second loss could be there. So they're 4, 5, 6. So 4, 5, 6, 7-2. They play the
7-2,
Bears. I say they win that. I still
eight and
think they could
two.
win it. 8-2.
Yep.
Green Bay at
Nine
home.
and
Nine and
nine
two.
and two. And then their third loss, I think, may come in week 13. To me, that's a tough environment to go to. The Superdome in New Orleans.
Okay, so you're 9-3 at that point. Then you're
Yep.
going to Chicago. That's a
Yep.
tough game. That's a tough game in the elements, but I still think
Yep.
we win it. Do you?
Like you said, the return of David Montgomery, I think, puts an extra chip on his shoulder.
Yep.
He's been running the ball as it is, very well. So I expect that to continue there, and I expect them to win that game as well.
Okay, so where are we at now? We're 10-3.
10-3.
Okay, so and then the Broncos at the Lions, 11-3.
Yeah.
Vikings, you don't
At
know,
Minnesota. At Minnesota, Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to us.
right?
Lions win.
Okay, 12-3, and then you got the Cowboys,
At
which that's a tough
at
game.
Dallas. At Dallas Saturday, December 30th. 8:15 primetime game.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
I don't want to sit here and say the Cowboys will win that game, but I tell you that'll be a tough game to win.
It
It
will be a
will.
tough game. It will be a tough game to win. If we can keep up the same intensity and the same playing style that we have right now.
I'm going to put down a
and,
loss.
and we go into that game. And we go into that game healthy. I think the Lions are better than the Cowboys on paper. So
Okay.
obviously you play the game on the field, not paper. So it's going to come down to what actually transpires on the field. But I think overall the Lions are a better team.
So
I'm
we're
taking the Lions. I'm taking the Lions there.
13-3 then, right? And then you got the Vikings.
Yep. And then I think the division's already out of hand. So I see a lot of players resting this game. So I could see a loss there as well. Going
13-4. Man, what a year that would be.
Yeah.
What a year that would be. 13-4. I mean, a couple of years ago, everybody was talking, oh, man, we got to get rid of Dan Campbell. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But there's some holes in the armor. There's some cracks. The fourth down stuff, I know that's how they play, and everybody's going to be like, oh, he's aggressive. I love it. I love it. I want to go for it all the time. I don't know, man. I just think you eventually got to take points when you can get points and not give up points. Obviously, if you give up the ball, I've seen him do it going for it at his own 40. That's just not going to be smart if you're playing a good team. But I think they're smart enough to know that. They get that, right? Like let's not look too much into it. So we'll see what happens. But it's a solid football team. If you're gonna pick a weakness on this team right now, um, where are you going? Because I guess I'm still going cornerback because I'm seeing some. They're trying to pick on Jacobs. I like what I've seen from him, but he's had a couple PIs, right? But they're trying to pick on him. And our safeties, obviously, there's a lot of injuries there. Tracy Walker's playing there. Um, it'd be nice if we could get the face mask back on or the ski masks back on, and near the end of the season, right? And Gardner Johnson, maybe get him
Right.
back. That'd be
Get him
nice.
back
It's
would be
possible.
huge. Yep, would be huge if we got him back. But to me, the biggest weakness, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far, is not being able to get your playmakers involved.
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, you look at the 49ers, like they force feed the ball to Christian McCaffrey. You look at the Eagles, they force feed the ball to AJ Brown. You look at the Chiefs, they force feed the ball to
Right.
Travis Kelsey. Like you win games by getting your playmakers the ball. Granted,
Right.
they are 4-1, so I will give them that. But these games can be so out of hand earlier, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
if you just get the playmakers involved more.
But I like their identity is, and I think this is. I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? Because that's what we gotta do here. Is their identity is like it's not one guy, it's a team, right? Like,
Yeah.
so that's why it's like when they're talking about there was trade rumors that I had talked to you about, a few weeks ago about Devonte Adams maybe coming here, and you're like, no, no, and I agree with you because it's like that's a dude that's going to want his volume, and if he doesn't get it, he's going to say something. You're not going to ever hear that from St. Brown. He's not going to
Right.
do that. I mean, you talk. I don't know how Devonte Adams was raised or anything like that. I'm not saying he's a bad dude. I know how St. Brown's been raised because we're from the area and we see the stories. His dad, instilling discipline and humbleness to him and his brother, and weightlifting with him. I mean, his dad looks like he could play, like he's in great shape, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like his brother too. He's not quite,
Yeah.
you know, like Amon Ra, but he's still a decent receiver, and he's in the NFL, right? That's saying enough. But um, I think you got to keep. You don't have to keep guys happy on this team. You can, as a quarterback, you got to love that because yeah, you can spread the ball around, and you don't have to think, oh man, if I don't throw over here, I'm gonna hear something from Odell or Antonio Brown's gonna take his jersey off and leave at halftime. You know what I mean? Like that
Yep.
stuff, that diva mentality, that is not gonna work here. And there was like a little bit of something in the preseason. I don't know if you caught it, but not saying Isaiah Buggs is a star, but there was that little bit of something where they were talking about how he was sent home or something, and they didn't give a lot of details, but people were like, "Oh no, there's what's going on in Detroit." And it's like, dude, it's Isaiah Buggs. We're good, right? Like we'll figure it out, and if he doesn't like it, we'll ship him out of town, right? Like not a big deal. They don't want to bring in guys that have big egos on this team, and I think that's what's going to keep this thing going, because this is just how this is going to work, right? That's Detroit, though, and I know it's
Yeah.
cheesy, but
Yeah.
like
Well, yeah,
the going to work Pistons.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they had some Hall of Famers on it. We see them as that. But, like, when you think top 10 players, they're not on that list. You know what I'm saying? But, like, we don't
Right.
have a Justin Jefferson. We don't have a Calvin Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, incredible players. But, like, the team that we have is just, they're just not selfish, man. And that works. And I think that's why Jared Goff likes it here. So I like getting your good players involved, but he doesn't have to force them, and that's what I like about this. I hear you with San Francisco because look, that's a special team, and I don't really know that Brock Purdy's special, or like that's just a bunch of good players, and Brock Purdy just fits there, right? He fits the system. I don't know, but I can tell you that Debo Samuel's special. I can tell you that McCaffrey is special. I can tell you Brandon Ayuk is special. George Kittle, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Special, right?
so
I
I
mean,
don't
and,
know.
and the Lions have a few of those guys, in my opinion, as well. Jameer Gibbs is special. I don't care what the Lions have done with him so far. Amon-Ra St. Brown is special.
Yeah, Gibbs
Um,
has been underutilized. I will say
he
that.
it's been absolutely crazy. I don't understand the mindset with getting him the ball. I believe a total of 30 touches in
Yeah.
4 games.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's been a little bit puzzling. I mean, obviously him out being today, I think that was just precautionary because you're like, listen, this is a long season. It's 17 weeks, so we'll just let him chill and hold him out. And we didn't miss a beat, but like I'm with you though.
Yeah.
The week before that, 33 carries to David Montgomery. Look, the numbers look good, but like, can a guy like maintain that? That's a lot of tread on the
Right, right,
tires,
right. Keep him healthy. Like give him
right?
25. Give him 25. Give him other 8 touches to
Right.
give. That puts him for that game up to 15, 16 touches. Like it's more of a,
Yeah,
you know what
David
I'm saying?
Montgomery is not as explosive as Jameer Gibbs. I don't care what anyone says. It's it's not close.
Montgomery, Montgomery's better between the tackles. There's no debating that there. But Gibbs, he's in the category of the Christian McCaffreys, the
Yeah,
Brees Halls, the Jonathan Taylors. You put the ball in his hands,
yeah,
he's a home run. He's a home run threat.
right. I saw Jameer Gibbs. He talked about the tandem duo of who does he look at himself and David Montgomery as, and he said, well, when they were in their prime, um, Alvin Kamara
Mark
and
Ingram.
Mark Ingram. And I'm like, that's perfect, man. That's
Yeah.
perfect because I actually think that Montgomery's better than Mark Ingram. But like for a
I
year there,
agree.
Mark Ingram was like getting a
Yeah.
lot of touchdowns, right? Kamara's been good for forever. Feels like
Yep.
he's been in the league for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like it feels like he's
Yeah.
been in the league forever. I saw a Dan Campbell quote. Um, I know you like Dan Campbell, but you're not big on the fourth down thing, right?
No, no, I love Dan Campbell. Yeah, I just think he needs to clean up the fourth down stuff, or that's going to cost his team when it matters the most.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there was a quote where he says something about finding us on the doorstep. If you're hunting us, just open the door because we'll be on your front porch, right? I'm like, dude,
Yep.
that's awesome, man. Like
Right.
this guy, I love that they welcome it, right? They're like, talk about us. We're good. We
Well,
know
it
it.
embodies yeah, like and it also embodies this, the city of Detroit, being toughness,
Yes.
hard nose, which is important to the fan base here because they will get in your face if they don't like what they see.
No, come on, not us in Detroit, right? No, man, I love it. Everybody's passionate. It's as a team that you can get behind. It embodies the city, and that's why it works, like you said, and that's why the Pistons work whenever they go and work Pistons. That stuff works. What doesn't work is when you get selfish, um, stars in here. Like I don't know why this comes to mind, but remember when we traded for Allen Iverson, and it was like,
Yep.
dude, Joe, what are you doing here? What are you
Yep.
doing? And Chauncey was shipped off, and I don't know if Chauncey wanted to leave because he got to go to Denver. It doesn't seem like it, right? But like